Hello and welcome to Saturday Mourning Cartoons, the weekly podcast that revisits, reviews, and ridicules some of the world's weirdest animated series. I did not expect to do that in Island voice. I don't know where that came from. Hey everybody,
Wow, that was amazing.
Island voice is here to stay for the next hour. Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna do pilot voice. I wrote this whole thing out as an intro to be pilot voice.
Oh,
Like
really?
kind of a little something like this.
You went.
Coming to
Okay.
you from
Yeah,
the
go.
blue skies above Cape Suzette, I'll be your pilot, Dave Drumbore. If you look to your left, you'll see an anthropomorphic bear-like creature known as Sean Paul Ellis. Say hello, Sean.
Hey, David. I'm doing well. How about
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Island living tonight. And if you look to your right, you'll see the orphan daredevil Matt Cloud Kicker Baron. Hello and welcome, sir. How are you tonight?
This is your navigator speaking. Clay's, things are looking good so far.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming aboard. Okay, we are talking. I don't know if you figured that out. If you figured that out, you're a fucking genius, or you've been listening to this show. We're gonna we're gonna talk Tailspin tonight, so that should clue you in. We got some island voice going on. We got some pilot action going on. I'm gonna turn it back over to Sean. He's
Oh my
gonna tell you
God.
some actual history of the show rather than just us being
Let's do
jackasses.
this.
Get serious.
Whoo!
Yeah.
This was a Tailspin was a Disney Channel series. It ran from May 5th to July 15th, 1990, and began syndication that same year in September. To do this, it went 65 episodes, but it was one season. Um, I guess does that mean that it like a bunch of things aired and then it took off and they brought it into syndication like regular syndication like on TV? I
I mean,
always think
it must
syndication
have,
is
yeah.
like they've completed something and then they went back and they just re-aired old
I
episodes.
mean, I feel like in this case, it was just like Disney was like, oh man, we got these 60 episodes and people really seem to like it, but I don't really feel like making any more. So we'll just run it for the next, oh, I don't know, 13 years, 18
Yeah, I
years,
know.
whatever it was.
God.
They just milked the shit out of this show.
The pilot episode was a four-parter called Plunder and Lightning, and it was the sole nominee for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Animated Program for programming that is more than 1 hour in 1991. I didn't even know that was an Emmy
No, I
category.
feel like they just kind of
So
snuck that in. They're
thanks
like,
Wikipedia. Yeah, I feel
they're
like
like, how do we get this category? Oh, we'll just make it a
ah,
four-parter.
jeez.
Yeah.
This is a spin-off of The Jungle Book. So if you've watched Disney's The Jungle Book, there are a lot of the same
Yeah.
characters that are going to continue over, such as Baloo, and we have Shere Khan, and I'm trying to think if there were any
Oh yeah,
notable
King Louis.
characters.
King Louis was in it.
Louis,
Yeah.
yeah, King Louis. Um, so yes, I, I don't know.
So, yes.
So yes, I really I don't have much to say other than this is like there's a bunch of
Good,
seaplanes and there's a bunch of air
good,
pilots.
good.
Um,
Real good.
Hey, seaplanes and bear pilots. Yeah, I mean, you already got my vote.
so
That's all you need.
Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the series?
Yeah, sure. So like Sean said, it was kind of, I mean, I don't even want to call it a spin-off. It was just kind of like they took the characters from Jungle Book and they just had kind of their own idea for this adaptation of like this 1930s set air adventure that centered in the fictional city of Cape Suzette, which we mentioned at the beginning of this crazy show, and centered on Baloo the Bear, who is this 30s kind of adventurer, but just kind of like a drunkard and kind of lazy, likes to sing and dance as Baloo does. And he's a pilot of this awesome seaplane called the Sea Duck. And over
I
the
mean, we
course
should
of, yeah,
we can I mean we can be honest. He's a good pilot,
yeah,
shitty employee.
he's a great pilot, just awful
Great
employee,
pilot,
awful, awful,
just
awful.
awful, terrible
Yeah,
employee.
absolutely. But I mean,
I mean,
he's
I don't know if Hire for Hire does like an employee of the month. I mean, he's
oof,
only one of like three employees,
total, and one of them is a
four
child.
employees
Yeah,
total.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Cloud Kicker wins it 16 times in a row.
yeah,
yeah.
good for him because he does
Just,
quite
I
well.
feel like poor Baloo's just never getting it.
Oh, he's getting it all right.
Oh boy.
Yeah. That's as good a time as any to mention. Do not, for the love of God, do not Rule 34 search this son of a bitch
Oh,
because,
I did. I don't
ooh,
know why I
I
did
told you
either.
not to do it. I warned
did it
you.
earlier tonight.
It's bad. It's real bad.
It was it was a real mistake.
It's an actual mistake. Like, I'm not even kidding with you. Normally, we kind of joke around about this because it's just like, oh, you perverts. But this is like, I want to call someone because this is some twisted stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
So stay away from that.
I mean, I'm glad that we are. Just think that it's good that we can all admit that we saw these things, that we all Rule 34'd Talespin, and that it was just it's not good. Like, if you love this show and if you are a big fan of anything Disney, just
anything
decent.
Just
save yourself the just anything in general. Yeah. Just save yourself the trouble and just do not append the word Rule 34 to the end of that search. You are it's just trouble town all the way.
We're a depraved group of individuals, but we're troubleshooting this for you. So just don't do it, kids. Definitely don't do it. Moving on, we're gonna get back to the wholesome nature of this show, Talespin. It's basically, it boils down to a bunch of anthropomorphic animal characters messing around as humans, flying planes, being air pirates, and doing business. That's really what it comes down to. It's a lot of business, a lot of flying, a lot of flying through the skies, good times. I really enjoyed the show. I had a blast with the show.
Surprisingly, a lot of business.
Yeah, an odd amount of business for a children's cartoon.
There's a lot
of talk of torts and profit shares, and I don't know. I didn't even understand it, but it was.
I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for Hire for Hire's IPO.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's going to be smashed.
Waiting for that to be. It's much better than Baloo's Air Service, which, come on, I mean, there's no pizzazz.
Be the first $1 trillion company. Let's get there.
Yeah, let's take Shere Khan down a notch. Knock him out of his business suit. Oh boy! I'll tell you what, though, the real outstanding portion of this show, as with many shows, is the theme song.
Oh, I know. It is the theme song.
This theme song, ladies and gentlemen. We are gonna do something real special right now. It could be tragic. I don't know how this is gonna work, but we're going to try it. We're going to try to bring you a Saturday morning cartoon rendition of the Talespin theme song. Do we want to we have not practiced this at all. This is just kind of off the cuff.
We have not. This if you were listening to this and you're just like, wow, this is garbage. Yeah. It's because we took zero prep time with this. So
we did a lot of island
freestyle.
Freestyle island.
If this comes out amazing, you can be like, "Wow, those guys are fantastic," and we're gonna be like, "Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we know. We're aware. Off the cuff."
Yeah.
Woof. On the flip side, if this fails miserably, then just enjoy it. I don't know. I feel like you guys are either gonna love this and laugh along with us, possibly sing along with us, or you're just going to fast forward for the next minute or so. So fair warning.
All right.
Fair warning.
Dave, would you... Matt, we talked very briefly. Dave, you're going to do the island voice. All right. Baron is going to help me out with the Talespin portion of this when it's said, and then I am going to sing the rest.
Yeah. You got the kind of the call and answer. You got the call portion, and we'll do the answer.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know what I mean? From like jazzy kind of, I'm showing my jazz education there.
Yeah, all right. Let's get this.
Yeah, we're gonna kick it off with an island laugh, and now I'm super nervous. I've been doing this all day. My coworkers look at me like a crazy person, but now
I've been doing this in the car.
Dude, now I mean I'm doing this live in front of literally tens of listeners, so this is very nerve-wracking. All right, kids.
All right, Dave.
Either skip ahead or turn it up. Here we go. Talespin. Ha 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 ha! Spin it. Let's begin.
Talespin.
Off to a great start.
Oh, Talespin.
Oh.
Talespin.
Friends for life through thick and thin with another Talespin.
Talespin.
Oh yeah. Talespin. Oh.
Talespin.
All the trouble we get in with another
Talespin.
Spin it. Let's begin it.
Talespin.
Keep going.
Oh.
Spin it, my friend.
You know, we're going to have to edit this whole
No, there's no editing. Keep it going. Go, Sean. Call an answer.
Okay, good.
Oh,
good,
yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Tailspin.
Wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's too many.
Hey, hey, hey!
Spin it, let's
Spin it, let's
begin it,
begin it,
Baron. Get it
Baron.
when
Get
you're
it when
ready.
you're
You
ready.
can
You
win
can
it
win
in
it
a
in a
minute when you
minute when
spin
you
it, spin
spin
it,
it,
spin
spin
it.
it, spin it.
Ha 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 ha!
So spin it.
Boom, boom, boom. Tailspin. Holy shit.
Oh
Oh
god.
my
Hey, we
God.
held it together
Well, at
though.
least we're.
We would have been laughed and booed off stage.
Baron, are you not looking at the
No,
lyrics?
Baron was freestyling the shit out of that. I provided the
Oh,
lyrics to
Jesus.
everyone.
You only told me to say tailspin.
Nope, this is
And I
proof.
said tailspin
Baron
every
does
time I
not
showed him.
read emails, everyone. Baron does not read his emails.
Guys, Baron is
hey.
illiterate.
You know what? At least we're not going to get sued.
No, because that was not even close to the original rendition.
Oh,
So,
man.
you're welcome.
Yeah, good time. Hey, thanks, buddy. Honestly, if anybody
dude.
wants to sue us for any percentage of our earnings from this show,
Please do.
you are more than
Please
welcome,
do.
because I will cut you a check
You
today.
are like
You
We
are
will
more than
co- we
welcome
will-
to zero.
Exactly.
we will write a check like for nothing.
Earns
Yeah.
100% of
You can-
nothing.
Please feel free to take advantage of 40% of zero. So, just have at it.
Yeah, have at it.
Oh my god.
Send
All
your
right,
request to
let's-
SaturdayMorningCartoons@gmail.com. Yeah, let's get back on the train here, because
let's-
honestly,
let's
this
get-
show
let's
was
get
fun.
into these Let's get into these characters.
Sure, dude. Yeah,
let's get into these
absolutely.
characters. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Are you?
Yeah, I am,
Okay.
because Dave and I were talking, and we were saying that if we posit that a theme song has is a very telling component of how
Right.
good a show is going to be, or is in some way direct correlated to your enjoyment of said show, how do we feel about this theme song?
I'm gonna let Baron answer because we already kind of talked offline about it. So
Sure.
I was really positive about it, but with a grain of salt, only because it's like super Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so that was my one beef. That being said,
That a Disney thing was very Disney?
yeah, I mean, it was
Okay,
super,
cool.
super Disney.
Yeah.
So I was just like, this isn't great. But, the very last second where they do the tailspin and, the plane flies across and, Baloo gives a thumbs up, I kind of liked it. I don't know. It was a callback.
look, and we've talked about the theme songs before. How a lot of them, especially kind of like the action-oriented cartoons, they lay out here's the good guys and here's what they're named, and here are the bad guys and here's what they're named, and here's what you can expect for the rest of the series. This doesn't do that. It just has fun with it. It has kind of
Yeah.
like that really just
It
kind
really-
of energetic and just kind of bouncy theme song, and a lot of fun stuff going on in the background. So we talked about this offline. It sets more of a tone than it does an exposition, and I think it works really, really well for the show.
It does.
Yeah, it's
It
a lot of fun
absolutely
too.
does. And I mean,
yeah.
and and just thematically, there's the sense of kind of family or friendship that is
Oh, yeah.
is present in the theme song, and that is a big component of this 4-part pilot.
Yeah, and they
and
like
so-
you said, they don't tell you straight up. If you listen to the lyrics or listen to us butcher them, there's not much to it other than just a lot of fun. But they do say, friends for life through thick and thin, all the trouble we get in, and it's kind of oh, we're gonna have these crazy adventures, we're gonna help each other get through it, and then we're gonna have a story
Yeah.
to tell at the end of the day. And I love that.
Right.
And it really does. That part of it pays off because it's 100%.
I mean, can
true.
you imagine if this had additional exposition in it,
Oh,
and it
it'd
just went
just drag
oh
it.
yeah, and they're like, Blue's a pilot.
Oh, we
oh no.
Kid Cloud Kicker's an
Cloud
orphan who was
Clouds.
adopted
You're
by
like,
Baloo
oh,
the Bear. Yeah.
Fuck this.
No, just turn it off. Or if it was
It's so
if it was dark, if it was Christopher Nolan's Talespin, if it was super dark and gritty, I don't know.
O-E-A. Carib Suzette. What a rough town. I fucking hate it there. It's where I buried my kids.
Oh,
and you're just
dear.
like, this is not the Disney
No,
cartoon
this is
that I
not.
wanted to watch.
Rebecca Cunningham gets blown up in a self-sacrificial. Yeah, just
Jeez,
terrible.
God.
I mean, so here's the thing. This is the first cartoon that I was really super excited about, because when I saw this cartoon, this is going to sound awful. You're going to make fun of me forever,
Well, it wouldn't be
but
the first
No, we're not. No, we're not.
we would never do such a thing.
no, yeah, you totally are. But when I saw the cartoon, I really wanted to have a cargo plane and exist in this world.
Dude, not gonna make fun of you for
I'm
one
not gonna make
second
fun of you
because
for
I
that.
had the exact same feeling. I was just like, you
Dude,
have
I
never
thought
made.
you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say
you were
something
gonna
weird.
say something weird where you were just like, God, I really wanted to fuck a bear.
God, I wish I was just inside a
like,
bear right now.
oh, I
No,
just wish
but
I was
honestly,
in a
it was like
bear.
the 1930s thing, and
Yes.
also like Sean, I know you can identify with this because we played this video game, but did you get a Crimson Sky feel?
Yes,
I can see
absolutely,
that.
dude. I love it.
Oh,
I was
also,
just thinking about that.
let me just say the Crimson Sky thing with the end of the storyline when they had the storm kind of what do you call it, like the storm blimp. I mean, I haven't played Crimson Skies in
the Blitzkrieg Zeppelins.
Right, but like there was a storm zeppelin at the end, and there was like, Jesus, they just ripped it right off.
Yeah,
like good
pretty
lord,
much. It's just straight out of the show. I love the fact that on the wiki page for the 4-part introduction to this show, so like the hour and a half introduction, the genres that they use to describe Plunder and Lightning, which is the title of the show, they've got action, adventure, comedy, drama, science fiction, and crime. And I love that because it's just like, it's everything in one. You know what I mean? I mean, it's even got a little bit of romance, it's got some bromance, it's got some father-son kind of stuff. It's really got everything. Now, to Baron's point, it is super Disney. But it worked, man. It was great. And it's one of those rare ones that we can go back and watch still today. Yeah.
And it was like kind of less Disney than some of the other Disney comics on like TV at the time, so it was like a little more action than the rest of Disney. So
yeah, it was.
I mean, that's why I really liked it. It was kind of like the free flow.
I'm gonna disagree with you. I mean, the other Disney cartoon that we've watched has been Darkwing Duck.
True.
And I mean, that was all, like, if you were to classify that, like, that show was all action and narcissism.
But yeah, it was like slapstick action at the same time.
I know,
100% narcissism, which is way different.
Slapstick action as well.
Yeah, true. Pineapples to the face are a little bit,
They were,
This was nothing
when you throw a pineapple through the propeller plops and it, hits
an air pirate
in the face. But, at the same time, I mean, the fact that Darkwing Duck and Talespin were on totally different levels, because Darkwing Duck was, the guy was trying to be a superhero, and
I'm gonna say he was a superhero, and Baloo is a pilot.
Fact.
Well, when you say trying to be,
I'm sorry, Matt. Go.
No, I mean, nothing's important anymore.
Nothing's important anymore.
No, okay. I'm just kidding. So, with Darkwing Duck, his express purpose for being was a superhero. With Baloo, he was kind of an accidental hero because he was just a pirate, or a pilot, and he's doing all these like crazy things, like high risk deliveries and yada yada yada, but at the end of the day, he's kind of your accidental like guy that you're rooting for.
Yeah, it's like Darkwing's, like Sean said, with narcissism, and Matt said with his desire to just be a hero. Like, that was his single focus, and it was just a very different tone, I think, from Talespin, just because Talespin's just kind of like, here's a guy, he's a pilot, that's it. He gets into adventures, he loves flying around, he enjoys kind of teasing these air pirates and being challenged and doing these death-defying stunts and maneuvers, and he loves his plane to death and back. He'll do anything for his plane, but he's not his main goal in life is basically just to be able to fly and have a good time. He's not concerned with being a hero or being a father figure. He's just out to fly and have a good time. And I love it.
And I desperately wanted a sea duck as a young man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rare show indeed that makes flying a cargo plane look that badass.
Yeah.
This plane, though, I mean, it's like a character.
I was like, I remember a conversation, no joke, and I'm going to get crushed for this, but I remember a conversation with my dad. It was like, how can I get a plane and become a freelance cargo pilot? And my dad's like, I don't know how to tell you this without crushing your dreams and simultaneously telling you that you're going to be poor for the rest of your life.
Just like Baloo, he
So
couldn't afford to keep his plane.
he's like,
That's the main conflict in most of the early
yeah.
stories, which I thought was great because, like we said earlier, there's a lot of business going on in this show, which is a very
Well,
strange
here's the
decision.
thing.
God.
Yeah,
When at the very beginning, when he's like, the bank's like, you owe
that little
$3,000,
fucking
and I thought
mole
to
that like everybody hates automatically.
well,
Nyeh.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I thought to myself back when like I really wanted to do this, like have a freelance cargo plane. I was like $3,000. You know, I got that much space on my credit card, so
yeah, done.
oh,
Except
okay,
this is
yeah,
19.
let's do
This
this.
is 1930s monies.
30s, yeah.
So, and it's crazy. They
At
throw
I mean,
around a
I'm
$3,000.
lot
so
of dollar
so
figures too. Yeah.
I'm very excited about that fact.
About 1930s dollar
That is the
figures.
30s?
Yeah, about the storyline with the Shere
Oh no
Khan
no,
and
yeah, I
like
love that.
the oh
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it's like the
But like,
kind
what
of
what
goal.
about the 30s? Were you just like, yes,
It's
this
like
is what I
that's the
want?
decade I want as a child,
Yeah.
as an 8-year-old. Can't get
Yeah,
enough
yeah.
of them
You're like,
30s.
Matt, like, what about like Art Deco? Are you just like screaming over to have more of in your life? Serious question.
Big desks.
That's
What?
true. They were huge desks. If you're a fan of big, just massive,
Yeah.
muscular desks, they're all
Yeah,
over the place.
really huge desks. And also like, big gardens with like carnivorous plants that, to torture my underlings with.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I hear you. I think it was just cool
mean,
because
that makes
even
sense.
as a kid, like if you didn't know what it was, if you didn't understand like this is the 30s and this is, there's no jet engines, there's no real like helicopters, there's obviously no internet yet because that didn't even exist in the real world, but there's nothing like that. It was just the tone and the look and the style of it and just like the feel of that old-timey kind of action adventure um, tone and genre. It was just something different that we hadn't seen on cartoons before. So to me,
Yeah,
that was what made it cool. I didn't know it was the 30s that
yeah.
made it cool. Just that made it cool. Plus fucking air
You know,
pirates,
and
dude.
and yeah, I mean, Dave, I totally agree. I mean, the fact for me, it was like, I know in some point of the series they referenced, quote, the Great War, but, it was the kind of like, what do you want to call it? Like, kind of like finding your own destiny. Like, with Baloo, he's like, being his own pilot, and, with Rebecca, she's owning a small company. Like, Shere Khan, he's got like the whole,
Business empire.
big
Yep.
19, yeah, exactly.
A very
the
American
kind of,
story at its heart, like very much the
Yeah.
American dream. Like anything is possible. You can be a drunk bear pilot. You can be a suave tiger in a suit. You can be anything you want.
yeah, you can be like an easygoing pilot. You can be a small business person. You can be, the person who builds, in the first episode, he says, I built this into the biggest empire, a business empire, in the country.
Dude,
So it
like
was
Cape
really
Suzette
that,
too, like the
yeah,
city itself, it's huge. I mean, when they showed like the flyovers, because you got to think with these flyover sequences, a lot of the action takes place obviously in the sky, and they cover huge distances, and the animation of the land around them and the different kind of ports that they go into and the different cities that they visit are just huge. And that was cool too. It was like an expansive thing that we never kind of, at least when I was a kid, never kind of saw that before Tailspin, because everything was always centered like in a city.
1995 was really trying to be, Louis and be, have a tiki bar. So
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of Disney
I love
influence,
that.
too.
I love that you volleyed from like I want to be a freelance cargo pilot to like I want to own a tiki
I
bar.
want to be an orangutan in a tiki bar. I mean, this is a great time
well,
to just talk about
let me
the
tell you
characters there, too.
the ins and outs of owning a tiki bar seem to be a lot more complicated than being a freelance cargo pilot. So
Hey, why not both? You have
Yeah.
downtime when you're not flying.
Why don't you have a tiki bar in the sky?
Yeah, why don't you have a flying tiki bar?
A flying tiki bar.
Done.
because you know what, that movie with Angelina Jolie and
Sky Captain of the
Law,
world of tomorrow.
yeah,
Sky Captain.
it just didn't work out.
Yeah, that's a discussion for another day, since it was mostly like privately financed. But anyway, I digress.
Actually, come to think of it, doesn't Baloo, don't they have a like kind of bar in the sky kind of thing?
I feel
Am I
like they do.
wrong?
Oh, wait. Isn't it on like a, don't they have like this floating like Zeppelin kind of thing? That's coming back to me
Yes,
now.
because like you would pull into it. I
Yes.
really feel
Yes.
like that was a thing.
Yes. That does sound
Yeah.
familiar. I'd love to go out. Man, I would love to watch like more of these episodes. I really only got to watch the first couple and then just kind of cherry picked to
I
finish
mean,
out
it
the
was,
four-parter.
you know,
but-
I was way too involved with this
No,
episode.
that's good.
So I don't know.
What don't you
All right,
know?
Sean.
Maybe
Sean,
this is an
Sean,
maybe this is
Sean,
an unpopular. Maybe this is
give
a
us
very
the full-
unpopular opinion.
Uh-oh.
give us your full download.
I was a little bit
Uh-oh.
creeped out by the relationship between Baloo and Kit,
Really?
Oh, you suck.
and
Why are you
and I'm
creeped out?
sorry, but like when Baloo continued to call him Little Britches,
Yeah, little britches.
like that grated on me so much in a way that like because I watched this like 10-year-old 11-year-old me watched this show nonstop.
Yeah.
I remember loving this show, and then when I heard Little Britches a couple times I was like, oh my god,
It's
make it
just
stop.
it's
Like,
just Uncle Baloo, and it's just his term of
And then-
endearment. When
and
he
then-
gets
and then
real
when-
drunk
and then
and
when-
flies his plane.
and then when Kit had to like stress a point and he'd be like Papa Bear and I'd be
Ooh.
like, oh, that's a weird,
Yeah, it was a little rough.
that's a bizarre choice.
Well, you know, that's the weird house you grew up in. So
I mean, undoubtedly, it was a weird house that I did grow
Yeah.
up in, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that. But I like nobody at any point in time was a sloth bear or a brown bear cub.
you know,
That would
and
be
like-
a real weird house.
Like-
Bizarre
let me-
advances
let
towards
me-
each other.
Little
No, because I
britches.
mean, like Kit
No,
is
I
like
mean,
Kit's an orphan. Kit's
Yes.
an orphan.
Kid is
and
a
he's
former air
he's
pirate.
identifying
Yeah.
with Baloo as being a father figure in
Right.
his life, and like I couldn't be happier about that. But I just think the phrasing "Papa Bear" and then Baloo's choice to like almost instantaneously call him like Little Britches. Now, like Little Britches is actually like it's a book.
Oh, is it?
Like
know
yeah,
that.
it's like a series. It's like a series of books.
Is it a
'cause I
Kipling
was
book?
No, I don't
Rudyard
think it's
Kipling's
a-
Little Britches? No? Okay.
No, it was Ralph Moody wrote like a series of books about like a rancher, and Little Britches was I guess a rancher in this, and it was one of those things where I was just kind of like, I don't know what it is about like, it's the word britches. I don't like the word britches.
That's 1930s talk, Sean.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't like the word britches. It freaked me the shit out
So,
to have him.
so for longtime listeners, Sean, you'll remember that Sean. Okay, this is the second word I think that he doesn't like. The first one was party, and the second one is britches.
I do not like the word party.
So
I do
if
not
you
like
wanna-
britches,
If you want to
I
have
do
a
not like
britches
the word-
party,
I do not
or
like.
you want
I
to
do
put
not
on your
like the
party
word
britches,
Commode. I do not like the word commode. Slacks.
are you okay with party britches? You want to put on your party
Or
britches?
moist.
Your big boy
I don't
britches?
like moist either.
Nobody likes moist, unless it's about
Nobody
brownies and
likes moist.
cupcakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
Even then, it's gross. Just say it's delicious.
delicious
You know.
party britches.
We've ruined certain words in our culture, and britches
On our
is one
podcast.
of them. In our podcast.
I'm actually okay with it. We joke, we're off the beaten path again, but I'm okay with it, just because Kit. Okay, so Kit comes from this background. where he's
you
an
would
orphan.
say that.
I of course would
Classic
say that.
Dave.
Classic Dave. He is the orphan. He's a former air pirate. He's been in with some like a rough and rowdy crowd who are all just terrible. I mean, they're comical, but they're pretty nasty people slash dog, fox, wolf things. They're not great. So the fact that Baloo, the drunk pilot bear, is like a step up, I'm okay with, because he's not, he's not idolizing Shere Khan, or he's not.
but he's also not drunk. You know, I mean, he's like, it's just easygoing.
We're introduced to him in Louis' bar, where he just like dresses in drag and breaks into a musical within the first like 5 minutes of this show. I'm gonna say drunk. I'm gonna say he's a
you
drunk
know what,
pilot bear.
I'm gonna side with Baron on
Okay.
this. I'm not gonna say a drunk. I'm just gonna say he's like lazy, slovenly, and just shitty with money.
Yeah, I could see it. He's an easygoing. I'm not saying he's a nasty drunk, um, but he strikes me as
No,
a
I'm not.
drinker.
I'm not. I'm
He
not saying.
strikes me
I
as a
don't. But
drinker.
I don't think he's. I don't think he's. I just don't think he's a drunk. I
Listen,
don't think Disney
Denzel
would peg him.
Washington's character in Robert Zemeckis' Flight was based directly off of Baloo the Bear from Tailspin. It's
Shut
a
up.
proven fact.
Shut
It's a
up.
proven fact. Sorry. That's the fact of the
Ah,
podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
it's gonna
Um,
blow my mind when I go back and watch Flight again.
yeah,
So
exactly.
thanks.
It just breaks into
Ruined
Island
it.
song. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, land of plane.
Upside down. Um, I mean, okay. So do we want to talk about some of these characters a little bit? We've kind of covered Baloo,
Well, we
whether
kind
or
of
not
talked
he's
about
drunk.
Blue. I mean, a little bit about Kit.
Yeah, Kit. His cool
Um,
thing, the thing
you
I
know
loved
what?
when I was a kid, was his cloud kicking ability. His little
Yeah,
airfoil
that
or
was pretty
whatever
sweet.
thing that he rode around on.
Yeah,
That was pretty sweet.
it was
He's
he called it a
fearless.
board. It was like a
It
like
basically looked like
a
a silver.
skyboard or
It looked
something
like a
like that.
silver croissant. It was a silver
Yeah, it was
croissant.
just yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad put that dream to bed for me pretty early.
So wait a minute. You wanted to be a cargo plane
Um,
flyer, and if
So I
you
was
couldn't
like,
do that, you wanted to open a tiki bar. And if you couldn't do that, you just wanted
yeah,
to airboard out of the back of a cargo plane. Right?
goddamn right I
I mean,
did.
does that sum it up? Okay.
I was like,
No, it's good.
yeah,
Yeah. No, that's
yeah,
great ambition.
that's
I'm sorry he
yeah,
shut you down.
that shows it up
I don't
nice.
see any.
Well, at least you're
don't
still
fucking,
alive
don't kill
today.
his dreams.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
well, you know what? I'm gonna make a sandwich. You guys go ahead.
All right.
Okay. I don't know what's happening, but yeah.
Um,
So we got Balloon, we got
So
Kit. Who do you want to
so
talk about
here,
now?
Baron.
How do we
Baron
not
made a
talk about the
confession.
pirates though?
Oh well, I wanted to really quick.
Shoot.
Baron made a confession earlier. I'll
Okay.
make a confession
Oh boy.
myself.
Here we go.
I remember
Put on your
watching
party
this
britches.
and being like, I think Rebecca Cunningham is an attractive bear.
Oh no.
I think she's an attractive bear. And then I realized only recently when we started rewatching this show
Yeah.
that it was voiced by Sally Struthers,
Yeah.
and that killed.
As
That
it
put
should
a
have.
stake.
okay,
That put a
As
stake
it should
in the heart
have.
of my.
I did not know that, but let me tell you when like thanks for watching a boner, but you know, at the same time, like
Oof.
just watching her, like
Jeez.
There's
you know, it was
neither
like,
side of that was appropriate.
Keep going, man.
Keep going now.
Keep
I
going,
was
man.
gonna say, you know, I mean,
Head down.
the character, it was really well, you know, good for me in the, you know, business aspect as it relates to Baloo, because Baloo was very freelance, but Rebecca was very like
Uptight.
business. You know,
Yeah.
we need to do this, we need to do that.
Ooh.
You know, it was a really kind of like good counterpoint.
Yes,
You know,
it definitely was.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for Sean, that
She was
worked
a-
out. He
she
liked
was a
the
boy- she was-
discipline side of things a little bit more, I think.
Who doesn't like discipline?
Well, I mean, you know, to each their own.
Yeah,
Bear
who doesn't
discipline.
I like a lot of discipline.
Who doesn't like discipline?
Oh boy.
No, I like a lot.
50 Shades of Baloo the Bear.
50 Shades of Baron.
Oof.
Rebecca.
50 Shades of Crepe Suzette.
Oh boy. The thing that is fun about Rebecca Cunningham is the fact that like when you're introduced to her, like she is a businesswoman.
Right.
She has a plan.
Right.
She has a direction. Like
And ambition.
She
yeah.
she wants to improve the business that Baloo has basically just
Run
like
into the
shat-
ground.
shat into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's not doing anything with it. And Rebecca was just like, yeah, absolutely. I have an idea. Let's put this into effect. And like, I love the fact that they chose like a female character, a female intelligent character to have an MBA. You know, because I didn't realize that bears could get MBAs.
Well, if they can
but
fly
can.
planes, they can get
So-
MBAs. So
Sure, why not? And so, you know, I love the fact that, like, you know, not only is she a businesswoman, but she's also a single mother.
I was just about to mention that because that's something that like didn't
And
really
I
strike me
think
as a
that
kid, but now that I think about it, it's like,
yeah,
whoa.
it didn't like when like going back and watching this, I was like, oh, like, and I grew up. I'm a child of a divorce, and so it was one of those things where like I had a very strong like mother figure raising me, and so like I don't know why I didn't like further identify that like in the show, but I was just like, oh shit, like watching it now, I was like, oh well, that totally makes
Look, I
sense.
think as a
Like,
kid you just see that and you relate to it because it's something that's happening in your life already. So you don't think
yeah.
like as a kid in that situation, like I was too, you don't think anything different because to you that's your normal. So when you see that on
Not to
TV, it's
mention the
just kind
fact
of
that
like, oh,
like
that's cool.
at 10 years old, I was dumb as shit.
Oh,
So I
weren't we
mean,
all?
like, I didn't
As
fucking
a
know.
note here, I did check it out on the Wikipedia. No mention was ever made of Molly's father. Now Molly
Absolutely not.
is
Not a
Rebecca's daughter,
single reference.
and the creator apparently said that Rebecca is either widowed or divorced, but the original script for the first Tailspin has her being divorced. So there is a
Yeah.
nod to that. They do mention it somewhere, but I guess they just felt they didn't need to work it into the show. So there you go.
I love that.
Yeah,
I think
good
that's
for
a
them.
really strong. I think it's a super strong choice.
Yeah, and then to Baron's point, like their two personalities clash a lot, but they also work together really well for getting out of
Yeah.
whatever sticky wickets they happen to get into. So it works
Yeah,
really
Did
well,
you say
really well
sticky
written. I
wickets?
did. That's 30s talk, Sean. Put
It's
on
good.
your
That's
potty
good. That's
britches
good.
and
That's good. Put on your
jump in your
pot.
sticky wicket.
You've been
Oh,
watching a lot of
fucking.
cricket, haven't
A
you,
lot of
Dave?
cricket. I don't understand cricket ever. I've watched it. I don't
I
understand it.
yeah, they just knocked the toggle off the wicket.
Yeah, I don't understand any of it. Another
That's you,
time.
Dave.
Another time.
That's you.
No.
Can we please
All right.
talk about air pirates? I love the air pirates.
Well, yes, we could absolutely talk
We
about
really
that.
only need to talk about one. The rest of them were just kind of like
Yeah,
henchmen.
Don Carnage.
Oh,
Let's get into
Don
Don
Carnage.
Carnage.
Don Carnage. I mean, he's kind of like this guy that says, I should both shoot you, but also be sorry for it, right?
He's got this very
That
like.
was quite possibly my favorite Don Carnage impression.
Oh, I thought that was his island voice. I thought that was Matt's island voice.
No, it's not the other voice. The other voice is, oh, hey, I came into your bar, Louis, and I would like to rape you of the
Wow.
the jewel that
Wow.
he stole.
Ladies and
Blah, blah,
gentlemen,
blah.
that was Wario. I apologize. Wario just snuck into the recording booth and took over for a second. On behalf of Saturday Morning Cartoons, like to apologize. What just happened? Don Carnage,
Please.
voiced by Jim
So,
Cummings.
Matt,
I don't know what just happened.
Dave, shut up. That was so phenomenal, Matt. That was so fucking good, dude.
Oh boy.
I'm not even joking. I'm not even messing around with you. That was so good, dude.
Goddamn right it was.
Oh fuck, I'm
Damn
losing
right
it.
it was. So that was Don Carnage.
No.
He's got a very European
Mr.
kind of style.
Mr. Legal Responsibilities, Dave Trumbor.
Oh, I'm trying to hold it together here, ladies and gentlemen. We're crashing and
Oh,
burning.
oh boy.
We are crashing and
That,
burning.
holding it together was a thing you needed to stop doing after our first podcast.
Holding it
so.
together. Oh boy.
Oh jeez.
Should we move
Oh
on
man.
from
All right,
Don
Don
Carnage?
Carnage. Let's talk about Don Carnage.
love Don
all right?
Carnage.
Because Don Carnage, there are two characters that are in this show that I think are easily my favorite,
Yes.
and Don Carnage is one of
Okay.
them. All right.
The end.
And so, the end.
Oh,
I love the fact that he speaks in like this bad like Lucy Ricky Ricardo
Yes.
voice, like nonstop. Like I tried imitating it, like or to do like an impression like earlier this evening as I was watching it because I was cracking up every time he was on.
Just
I couldn't
anytime
do
he
it. I
talked,
couldn't
yeah,
do it. I
whatever
can't
his
do it
line of
justice.
dialogue
Honestly, I was kind of weirded out by the fact that it was both a French and Spanish.
Yeah, it's just very like
kind of
European
accent.
kind of.
And that was the thing. It's like, okay, if you're gonna stick to it because he's like, he's got that yes no kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time he's like, got the French grammar. I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, but like,
Well, yeah,
does
I mean,
when
he's
you watch
wearing,
it, like,
he's
if you
wearing
listen to
he's
him,
wearing
yeah.
like a Napoleon
Yes,
tailcoat
exactly,
the entire time.
yeah.
Which is fucking great.
So literally, the
but,
only
like,
people that can do his
He's
voice,
speaking in like a broken Spanglish,
Yeah.
like nonstop,
with like a weird
it's-
French tilt to it, though, like a lilt, a French lilt. Literally, only two people that can do his voice are Jim Cummings, who actually did it, and our very own Matt Barron, who just did an exemplary performance of it
It's so good.
just a few minutes ago. It's the only two
I
people
just
I
want
can
to
do
hear
it.
it
Yeah.
nonstop.
Sean, who was your other favorite though? I'm curious.
My other favorite was
Yes.
Wildcat.
Okay, mine too. I was hoping it was him.
It was
Because
Wildcat.
I
He was
would
the
like to fix your plane, and I was like, it's like this thing that they all just fix your phone. So
Did
that's
anybody,
how it
did
works.
anybody get that? Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nell. Nell just stopped into the studio to.
Take in
Mate.
the wind.
May taste sweet
Take in
chicken
the
pie in
wind.
the
Jesus
wind.
Christ.
Take in the wind.
J guy ain't
Yeah,
just
you didn't think
screw in the
you didn't think
bay.
we watched Jodie Foster and Nell, did you?
You should
We've
all run out
watched
watch
it.
Jodie Foster and Nell.
It's on our other podcast.
Well, just remember,
Jodie Foster movies.
100%
Jodie
Nell.
Foster. Yeah, Jodie Foster was Nell, and then she was in
Contact.
contact with Matthew McConaughey, and then Matthew McConaughey Oh, I'm gonna do a Lincoln commercial.
What are you doing?
There you go. There you go. Matt's doing impressions.
Matt's doing
in
this is
and
an
I
impression
love
hour
this.
with Matt Barron.
Keep
I'm
this
gonna
up.
I'm gonna go ahead and just roll this little booger up into my finger here while I drive my commercial.
You sound like a
my
gay
commercial.
You
What
sound like
is
You sound like a
happening?
flamboyant Southerner, and I love
Yeah,
it. It's
I'm just gonna
impressive.
go ahead and roll this little booger.
You
What
know
are you saying?
Just roll this up little booger here. Like we're transition, like going from a winning an Oscar to driving the Lincoln in the commercial.
Ladies and
You guys
gentlemen,
have
ladies and
have obviously
gentlemen,
been watching
You
SNL.
know, we're gonna have to edit this
there
entire
is
thing
no
out.
editing.
No, we're not.
I can turn it off.
There's no editing.
There's no editing. Ladies and gentlemen,
There's no
Matlock
editing.
just walked into the recording booth.
Oh my god! All right, so Wildcat is fantastic. I don't know if anybody else got like a Bobcat Goldthwait.
A little bit. It was. I think
Kind
it was
of
mostly
like,
just like that crazy kind of like high pitched voice
Yeah.
at times and that lisp. Yeah.
It was just I love characters that are seemingly
Mentally
more than what
retarded?
they appear to be.
Okay.
No, shut up.
Well, I don't
like,
know.
I don't know. I love characters that are seemingly more than what they appear on the surface, and so Wildcat is very much that character, where he kind of presents himself as kind of like a doofus,
Yes.
but he is an idiot savant
Yes.
when it comes to like being able to make repairs to the sea deck or anything else. Like, he's a mechanical genius. He's not just an idiot savant.
Right.
He's a mechanical genius.
He's basically,
And so,
if you
like,
took Tigger and then just made him a mechanic, that's kind of what he
Yes.
is. The voice even kind of sounds
Pretty
a little
much.
similar.
A little bit.
Yeah, but it's
So,
kind of, yeah.
I loved his ability, not only just in like the pilot, just to kind of like surprise,
Yeah.
but I mean it's just a very fun, like, happy-go-lucky character. Like, he has no agenda other than just to, like, serve to kind of like further whatever's going on
Yeah.
between like Baloo and Rebecca,
And a little bit of it just
or
like a
Becca's.
dialogue shift or a tonal shift at times too, because he's basically on the autism spectrum somewhere, but he helps them out quite a bit.
Oh, jeez.
So I really like Wildcat.
Who,
I thought
who's
he's great.
not?
Yeah, honestly, everybody's on there.
Certainly Sean is.
No, this entire podcast is full of autistics. So
And we are way on the spectrum.
yeah,
The other character that I think that we've hinted about and we talked about quite a bit
Mhm.
that you get introduced in the first episode is Shere Khan.
yes, voiced by Tony J.
I
Fantastic
know.
voice, spot on
Oh,
voice
the
acting
best.
from this guy.
Just so
The best.
Do you guys? I'm gonna
good.
put you on the spot. Pop quiz. Do you remember the other show that we discussed here? I believe it was.
absolutely do.
Yeah. What was it?
Yeah, Baron, you remember what he did?
You remember?
Why you gotta do that?
Yeah, he just did it.
No, you do
He was Megabyte from Reboot.
Do you remember what other one? There's a
I-
trick question. There were
you
actually
know.
two of them. Oh, come on.
Oh,
This
I
was
don't
my
remember
pick,
the-
and you
I
guys
don't remember
hated
the
it.
other one.
That doesn't narrow it down at all.
Aha,
was
you
it-
suck, Sean.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
you
there
got
go.
me.
Mighty Max. He did Virgil from Mighty Max. Remember the owl guide?
That fucking
Tony
show.
J. Anyway, so yeah, Tony J.
You know, I mean, honestly, I did remember his voice from Megabyte, but I was like, I didn't want to.
Yeah,
Spin it.
no points for you. Ha 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 ha! Let's begin.
All right, fine, fuck off.
Island voice. I really
Fuck
hope
off.
if you've
Oh,
listened to this show this far, first of all, good for you. Congratulations. But I really hope for the next week or so you're just laughing in an island voice, just greeting people in
Oh
an
my
island voice.
god. I don't know what it is about that voice, but just,
It's so good. I don't know who it was.
Here, I think for all the listeners, we should disclose that for a period of time when Dave and I were living
Mm-hmm.
together, I would consistently do my island voice
Oof.
impression for Dave, which
Just
Dave
makes me
hates.
cringe.
Just makes him
Give him,
so
give him a
uncomfortable.
taste. Give him something.
No, I don't need
You
to.
don't
I
do
don't
it
need
on
to
demand?
ruin.
Okay,
I
that's
don't need
fine.
to ruin
That's fine.
their sensibility. Maybe I'll do it later.
Yeah, do it
It'll
later.
come up
Okay, that's fine.
organically.
Let
It
it
won't
go.
be something that you can kind of throw me into.
Listeners,
But
it'll be
you know,
your job to try to pick when Sean's doing
oh,
his island voice, because occasionally it's like a Yiddish Brooklynite, and sometimes it's like
I
this Scottish
did.
lord that comes out. I don't
You
know.
know
It's
what? I did it. I did it the other night for somebody else, and they were like, "That's really good." And I was
Oh
like,
oh,
yeah,
"You're
I want to meet this
insane!
yeah,
person. This
yeah.
person who's
You're
never heard a Jamaican person
insane!"
before.
Well, with the schlepping and the bok choy, I mean, this guy he's a schlemazel. It's totally bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry David just stopped
Oh
by to
yeah,
say hi.
God, I love
Killing it.
Curb Your
He's
Enthusiasm. So
killing it.
thank you for being here on the
You know,
pod.
Dave, I'm going to kill you
I don't know who that was.
That's spin it.
Spin it!
Oh my God.
Listeners, anytime if you're at work and you guys are gonna like start a meeting or you need to get pumped up for like the big presentation, please just do the island laugh and say let's begin it. And I guarantee you you're gonna win it in a minute if you spin it.
I mean, here's the best
Shoot.
thing is that I think we have been recording for a very long
Roughly
time,
45
and we've not
minutes
even we've 45
of
minutes, and
just
we've not even
complete
talked.
nonsense.
We have not even begun to talk about this episode.
No.
We could talk about this. We could talk about the four-part episode very, very high level.
Yeah, I mean it's. I think it was well put together. To be honest with you, there were a lot of plot turns. They introduced, most of the characters we've already talked about in different ways. Um,
Yeah.
Baloo kind of like runs afoul of multiple antagonists throughout because everybody kind of there's a MacGuffin in this four-parter that everybody is trying to get their hands on for different reasons.
Right.
That's not really as important as just I think just the tone of it, how fun it was, the adventure that's in it, the kind of the high flying antics, and the like I said earlier, the sea duck itself, the plane, is almost a character in and of itself because it looks like this big kind of bulky, slow, awkward cargo plane, but it's got a lot of cool kind of like hidden gadgets and stuff that Baloo has put into it too. So they do a lot of fun with the plane itself as well as the characters.
Right.
Yeah. Did you want to say anything about about the actual show though? I mean, what do you want to talk about in the plot?
Oh no, no. I mean, I just the fact alone that it was a four-part
Yeah,
like
just to get
pilot.
an Emmy. Yeah,
I mean, like yeah, maybe just to get an Emmy.
right.
Like I think the thing that was rewarding about it was that a lot of pilots whenever you watch them, like it's just a lot of information
Yeah,
jammed into like that one 22-minute episode, and
right.
for this it felt like they gave it a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I think the big thing about Tailspin is that they really gave themselves room to breathe by taking this pilot and putting it over those four episodes. And there's a decent amount of relationship building, that they established between Baloo and Kit, as well as also between Molly and Rebecca and Kit and Baloo. And so like you really get a sense of like these people care about each other. They're not trying to like jam all of this stuff together into one 22-minute episode and make it awkward. It just nothing seemed forced, and so
Yeah,
that was refreshing.
yeah. And actually,
So
when
I
Sean
I,
told me that it was
I
going
can
to be like
appreciate
a
that.
yeah, when he said it was going to be a four-parter, I was just like, what hubris? Like, what? Who do you think you are? You're just bringing this like show on people and just like, oh, we're going to do a full-parter. But it actually was really
What
smart.
Ridley Scott bullshit do you think you're gonna pull on this?
Right? Tailspin Part 1, The Exodus. Yeah,
Oh
it
boy.
works really, really well, though, because we get introduced to Baloo, who, like we said, is just kind of chilling at the club, and we get introduced to chilling at the club, the Bear Club,
Just chilling at the
just
Bear
chilling
Club.
at Louis Bear Club. Um,
Here's the thing.
yeah,
It is very hard to say the word bear
yeah.
and not think like of the like gay connotation that comes along with it.
Is it, though? Because it wasn't for me until right now. Now it will be.
I mean, like, I mean, now it will be, but I mean, like, there are parts of this that, like, kind of like going through it and just like hearing like Papa Bear. I think that that's what it
Yeah,
was
that's
with
probably what
me for like
bothers you.
hearing Papa Bear
Yeah,
over and over and over again. Like
yeah.
it's just hearing that and like I don't know why that I don't know why that registered and made it so like it was just it was over it was used only like a couple times, but like after the first time I was like, okay, I don't know if that was earned or not.
I think it's
But the
because you
second
grew up. I think it's because you grew up. You're no longer an innocent youth. You're a bespoiled old man.
I think in part what it is just Urban Dictionary. Like I just
Yeah.
think that because I know like enough about like slang words and like things that are used like out of context, like I'm just kind of like, oh, like
Look, hey,
I'm
at the same time, if there's a well-built man out
same
there,
man,
at the
same
same man,
man, same man.
Jesus,
Not letting you get away with that.
I
Dave,
was hoping to
Dave,
sneak that by you.
Dave, Dave, what's on your mind?
Bears now, talking about
Bears.
bears and
Talking
cops.
about them bears.
Mm.
But like
Yeah.
I think it was a very good like 4-part intro to this series. And yeah, I would definitely say that like, you know, if given the chance I would be interested in watching more of this show
Oh,
and kind of
definitely.
seeing
Yeah.
a lot of the madcapped hijinks that they get into.
Yeah, and I don't remember how many of the plots, like how cartoonish they got. Like again, basically, this one centers around a MacGuffin. It's this stone that Kit, sorry, steals from the pirates to begin with, and then it ends up in Baloo's hands, and they want to sell it to pretty much anyone who will buy it. They come to figure out that it's worth way more than anybody had imagined, and it ends up falling into the hands of a couple different antagonists. One, it goes back to Shere Khan at one point, who reveals that it's actually like this. I mean, spoiler alert if you want to go back and actually watch the pilots. Um, but it's this device that basically produces limitless energy, and it can power.
It's like a conduit for
Yeah, but it can
producing
somehow
limitless.
yeah, it can somehow provide energy to like the entire, at least to Shere Khan's entire corporation, if not the entire city. So it's like his energy answer. At the same time, the pirates want to use it for somewhat more nefarious purposes, which is basically just making a fucking lightning gun and blasting their
Lightning
way
gun.
into the city. This was one of my favorite parts of the show, actually. When Baloo is outside of the city, outside of Cape Suzette, they fly through these cliffs, and the cliffs are protected by cliff guns, which
Yep.
that just the idea, just that kernel of an idea to me was awesome as a kid. The fact that you had like this city that was protected by these surrounding cliffs, and those cliffs had just anti-aircraft guns fucking mounted to the sides of the sheer walls. I thought that was great, and the air pirates wanted nothing to do with it until they blew them apart with their lightning gun. Just a lot of cool stuff like that, man. A lot of
Which
high-flying
you know
adventure and action. It was great. Yeah.
I will say in the fourth part of the pilot,
Yes.
when they are falling out of when they're falling out of Don Carnage's, was it like
The Iron
whatever
Vulture.
the Iron Vulture?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hmm.
And so when they're falling out of the Iron Vulture, and Baloo just goes, "Oh no, we're in a tailspin!" I just like
Oh
went,
no.
shake my fucking head,
Ah,
like,
they did it. They finally went there. It took them 85 minutes,
They
but they
got,
got there.
it. It was. I feel like it was like a 4-episode payoff where they were just like, "We're gonna get there.
You just need to
We're
wait.
gonna give ourselves time to
Yep.
get there. We're gonna give ourselves a full almost 2 hours to get there." And I'm just like, "Oh, facepalm."
Yeah.
Like,
But it was fun, dude. Unfortunately, listeners, we have lost Matt Barron. Probably not permanently. He just kind of, I don't know if his connection dropped out or what, but he's
nah,
gone.
he's dead.
I'm going to say since this, well, I certainly hope not. I'm going to say since this was his suggestion, and we talked to him offline, he was very enthusiastic about this show, as you may have heard, and also his impressions, which came out of nowhere. He would probably recommend this show. Sean, do you recommend this show to the people?
I recommend this show,
Yeah.
but I'm also a little bit creeped out, as I mentioned, about the Kit Baloo relationship. I don't know why I get so freaked out about that. I just don't like the word britches.
Yeah, Party Britches and Papa Bears.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, fair. I mean, that doesn't bother me. I think if you just kind of want to watch this high flying action adventure series, it's good. It surprisingly holds up. Like Baron mentioned, it's still kind of Disneyfied. It's still very. It can be saccharine at times, but they've got
Yeah, but
enough.
it was fucking made by Disney. Like it's
Exactly.
Disneyfied because it's
Because it's a
made by
Disney
Disney.
product, yeah. And it's not as bad as
Jesus.
some of them are.
If
It's
it
not
was
like,
Ruby Spears and it was fucking
ooh,
Disneyfied, like then you could bitch
that
about
would be
it.
bad.
But like you can't bitch about a Disney cartoon being Disneyfied.
Right. Now, look, it's not on the level of like a Gargoyles kind of like darkness or serious tone. It's
Ugh.
way more just like fun and uplifting and energetic and crazy. Even the villains aren't even exactly like scary or intense or anything. They're just a lot of fun. Um, yeah, it's just a fun time. It's kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, Jungle Book meets Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, which you probably never wanted, but if for some reason you haven't seen this show, 100% recommend checking it out. This was fun. I'm
Yeah.
glad Matt suggested it. I'm sorry he fell off the face of the earth. Maybe he finally achieved his dream of being a cargo plane flying, tiki bar owning airboarder.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I really hope so. I think that that's like I don't think that. Here's the thing:
Yeah.
watching these cartoons and being inspired to do the things
Yes.
they're doing. Like if you watch Brave Star and you decided to become a cop
Yeah.
because you thought that like it romanticized law enforcement in any way, shape, or form, is not a bad reason to get into it.
Yeah.
Like if it's something you love, do it. Who gives a hell?
Now, at the same time, if you watch Botsmaster,
Gives a hell?
who gives a hell?
Ugh.
The same man gives
Gives
a hell. Who, if you watch Botsmaster and want to become a cybernetic mad scientist,
No, I watched Botmaster and I wanted to commit suicide.
well, don't do that. Do the former, don't do the latter. Definitely take drugs, but don't commit suicide. I'm not
Dave
even
and I
going to
have
joke
had this
about that
problem.
one.
Dave and I have had this problem. Have had this conversation multiple times. Do not do drugs.
I mean, yeah, if you want to listen to Sean, Sean just told you to commit suicide.
Don't
so
do drugs.
obviously Sean's
I'm
not
saying-
the person to talk to and listen
I'm
to.
saying
for this.
no. I'm saying don't do that.
All right.
I'm just saying watching Botmaster made me want
Oh,
to commit
fair.
suicide.
That's why we stopped.
But
Here's a
do
question.
Not, do not do drugs.
Here's a question. Did Tailspin have a drug episode? We need to start researching these
No,
better.
there's no drug episode.
No drug
There's
episode?
no drug episode.
Shit.
Every show we watch, I googled the shit out of drug episode for those things. Like, I want a good drug episode. I thought Mask was gonna have a
Yeah,
great
you'd think.
drug episode.
No, they just tell you
And they
not
just
to pet stray
right,
dogs.
No, and then they just punched Native Americans in the
Ooh, they
face.
sure
Like
did.
it's as awkward as shit.
Oof.
Like
Look, Tailspin was like tailor made for a drug episode, though. Like, imagine this shady guy comes in and he offers Rebecca like 100 grand
yeah,
to
there
just
could have been.
yeah,
There's seriously
fly these
like,
drugs across the border, bro. All good.
Yeah, I mean, this really could have turned into like a
Could have
drug
been
mule
real
episode.
Breaking Bad style.
Like, I mean,
Like,
it could have
so
gone
fucked up.
so many different ways.
but they didn't do
I
that.
would have been satisfied. I would have been happy if they did. I mean, who gives a shit? Like, who knows? Like, look, throughout the entire series, Rebecca and Baloo are both hard up for money all the time.
All the time.
I mean, what kind of
Just
crazy weird
break
things have they
bad.
gotten
Take
into?
care of the kids. Do the drugs.
Breaking,
Get that drug
Breaking
money.
Bad.
Break bad. Baloo Breaking Bad. Oh man, I want to see
Ah,
that.
deep sigh.
Yeah, that's good
Oh
stuff.
man. All right.
All right. Any final
I,
thoughts for
I
Tailspin here
want-
before we wrap it up for the folks?
No, I think we're done.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out.
Yeah, this is your time for plugs and shout outs, so you take it
Yeah,
away.
I wanna give a shout out to Tony Lazzaroni. He messaged me and he had a comment regarding a previous episode,
No, do tell.
which was our Street Sharks episode,
Interesting.
and we had been debating over whether or not we think Ceviots
Yes.
we didn't know what it meant. We have been continually conflicted about the meaning of this, and he posited an answer,
What's he got?
and I love it.
Okay, let's hear it.
He said that Ceviots equals sea, as in the ocean.
Right, got it. I'm with you so far.
Soviets.
See Soviets?
Soviets. Sea Soviets.
See Soviets.
Sea Soviets. I love it. I think I think he might be spot fucking on with this one. Like, I think it's pretty.
I mean, it
perfect.
makes about as much sense as anything else in that show. So
Everything else that we have guessed so far.
it just doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit. Tony's suggestion on this
See Soviets.
actually fits. It fits. That's what's scary about this.
That is
that
scary.
it fits,
It's
and
scary.
I love it.
Tony,
So,
you have
I
a
also-
disturbed mind, my friend. Disturbed in the Street
I
Sharks
also-
way. Yeah.
No, Tony does have a disturbed mind, but it's wonderfully disturbed. So
See
let him
Soviets.
have it.
I like it. We're
Let
gonna
him
go
have
see
it.
Soviets.
I also want to say a shout out. We've been live tweeting
Yes.
episodes that we've been
Intermittently.
watching.
Yeah.
So intermittently when Sean has access to the internet.
Yeah.
And so I want to say I thank you to a couple people who chimed in during my episode for Tailspin, and that is Don Carnage, and that is Don underscore Carnage underscore,
Oh boy.
and as well as also Sparf, Sparf, and Richard Pump. So they did a fantastic job of answering the question of when Don Carnage has guns on the side of his biplane
Yeah.
and he fires them, how those bullets do not ricochet off of the propeller and destroy the actual mechanism that allows him flight. And so they actually had some pretty good responses with that. So I was very happy with that. I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, Don Carnage himself replied, so I mean, that's obviously
Yeah, I mean, Don Carnage.
he's got insider information.
Don, you're still one of the two favorite characters that I have in the show.
Definitely.
So thank you immensely. And Sparf and Richard Pump, Dick Pump. I love the fact that you guys.
Oh, didn't
chimed
even get
in and,
that.
helped me out with
Didn't
this
even
one.
see that.
Yeah, I know you did.
Well
That's
done.
why I needed to spell it out.
Well done.
So thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, I'd love to thank people who talked to me on Twitter, but it was a lonely, vacuous void of depression. So,
Well, you're just not popular.
no, it's
So,
fine. I mean, I get it.
Let me also, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at Sean Paul Ellis, and that is SeanPaulEllis, and that's for both Instagram as well as also
Yeah,
Twitter.
it sure is.
Couple shows that I want to plug for the month of December. If you are in the DC area or Virginia or Maryland and you want to see some excellent improv comedy, you can check me out. I'm going to be performing with a group called Nox. That's Nox exclamation point. We are going to be performing Saturday, December 6th, 13th, and the 20th at 10 o'clock. I think we're the headliner for all
Nice.
three of those shows. We're going to be revisiting a format that adds components from TED Talks.
Nice, dude.
So we're going to be having a blast with that. We did it earlier this summer. Had a fucking incredible time doing it, and so we're revisiting it, and we're having a lot of fun with it for the holidays.
Dude,
So,
that's great to hear. You
that's
guys have
gonna
been
be December
super busy lately. Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be December 6th, 13th, and 20th, all at 10 a.m. or 10 a.m.
Holy shit, it's a morning,
Oh,
Saturday
no.
morning cartoon episode.
10 p.m. Sorry. And you can find tickets out on the new Washington Improv Theater, which is witdc.org, and you can buy tickets through that.
It is a snazzy site, and we will have links to all of that information up on our website, which is SaturdayMourningCartoons.com. Remember, that's morning with a U. Sean, did you have more to tell the folks about your shows?
No, that's great. Hey, Dave, what are the things that you have that you'd like to plug? Because you've been doing some incredible shit lately.
Nah, I'm not doing much. You know, I'm reviewing.
shut up.
I'm just reviewing a few shows here and there. I'll tell you what. Coming up soon, because we're getting into the holiday breaks here. I'm gonna have a article over at Collider.com where I do these reviews. I'm gonna break down the new and returning comic book adaptation shows and just kind of rank the best and the worst, because I cover all of them. I cover ones that are really, really good and surprising, and others that have been a disappointment so far. We also cover a bit more than that on the site as well. So, if you're interested in shows like Gotham, The Flash, Arrow, The Walking Dead, and Constantine, I review each and every one of those shows each and every week. They're on TV over at Collider.com. So come on over, take a read. If you like it or love it, feel free to leave a comment, or if you hate it, feel free to leave a comment too. That's what most people do. It's good times. So yeah, just come on over there and check us out. If you want to know more about Saturday Morning Cartoons, you can follow us on Twitter at MorningToons. Remember, that's morning with a U. You can also check out our excellent and schizophrenic Tumblr page that Sean's been populating. Oh man, for the last months now.
I've been putting a lot of random stuff up. It's
love it.
not just been about the cartoon.
Don't care.
Of
Love it.
I'm putting a lot of stuff, so
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
great. We might actually see if we can find those recent like throwback cartoons for, I think it's like the Honda CRV, which is not a sponsor, but they are using like 80s toys, many of which I own.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Yes.
It's just another way to pimp out our childhood, but hey, I'll take it. It's great. Yeah, that's at SaturdayMorningCartoons.tumblr.com. Where the hell else can you find us? Oh, I don't know, maybe on iTunes and Stitcher, where you can download this podcast each and every week. You can also pester me, and I would love you to. I would love you to pester me on Twitter because it's a sad, lonely place full of millions of people. You can reach me at Dr. Claw MD. That's DrClawMD. Dr. Claw MD. Sean and I will be live tweeting.
If you
Yes.
if you happen to be looking for Matt Barron and you want to
Oh
throw
yeah.
messages or hate
Forgot all
mail
about
at
that guy.
him, you can find him. You can find him at Twitter at Bag of Sandwiches. And I think that's it in terms of plugs and contacts that we have. Is there anything else, Dave?
I mean, okay, so Sean mentioned we were going to be live. We live tweeted the last couple of episodes. Sean doesn't know, unless you read the email, what we're going to be live tweeting next.
I know what we're doing.
Oh.
I watched it.
Well, Matt doesn't because he
read
doesn't read.
emails.
Matt doesn't read. Matt can't read. That's fact of the podcast number 3. Matt can't read. Look, for this one, my pick is coming up next. I wanted to go a little bit older. I don't think we've done anything quite this old yet.
Very excited about this.
This is from the late 60s, early 70s. It's a Hanna-Barbera action-adventure classic called The Herculoids. I used to love watching this. It was like a half an hour show.
Did you really watch this?
Oh, yeah, I watched it, but not obviously in 1969. I watched it when it was on Cartoon Network, like during Space Ghost and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
great.
dude, I love the Herculoids. It's so weird.
No, and I mean, like, Herculoids was the cartoon that I confused Herculoids with Thundar the Thundar.
You should, because we'll talk about that during the show. Like, some of the
And
characters are just carbon copies.
There's so many comparisons.
Yeah.
It's such a copy paste in a certain way, but like it's so wonderful. So I'm very excited to watch Herculoids.
Yeah,
so
honestly, like that's why I was kind of confused that like Thundar was like an early 80s or late 80s show. I had no idea. I thought they were both pretty much the same era. No clue.
I thought they were within at least 5 years of each other.
Yeah.
No,
not even close.
Naps. I am so wrong with this.
So
I'm a dumb.
We'll go back and we'll check out the Herculoids, and we will bring it to you again on Saturday Morning Cartoons. Thank you very much for listening. Man, if you made it this far, I want to give you something. I just have nothing to give except my eternal gratitude. Maybe someday, for you listeners who have stuck with us since the beginning, we'll have something to offer you. But until now, I'm just going to turn it over to Sean, who's going to take us out. I don't know, buddy. Do you want to do a live recording in your island voice, maybe? Do you want to do that?
In the island voice?
Yeah, in our regular outro. Do you think you could do that?
Yeah, I absolutely can.
Here we go.
Oh, jeez.
The anticipation is killing me.
This is.
You can change it up too if you want. If you want to change it up, I'll give you that.
Dave, Matt, we ride.